Thanks for the intro. I'm audible there? I can't hear you. Same? Is it? Okay. Okay, so once again, mic testing, 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
You're trying to put your hand down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay. So introduction done. Let's go to your topic directly. And today we're going to talk about blockchain. Unfortunately, I was supposed to be the first speaker, which is AJ. He has taken all my points. So maybe we have to repeat the entire slides again. Okay, so basically when you talk about blockchain, one thing which comes to your mind is what? I mean, when you hear this term blockchain, one thing which comes to your mind? Anything? Bitcoin? Right? Now, next time when I go for the, talk on blockchain, my first slide should be, Bitcoin is not blockchain. I mean, that's the thing, right? The moment you say Bitcoin or blockchain, we always use them interchangeably. But they are very different. They are very different. Blockchain is not just a cryptocurrency. Are you with me? Yeah? Okay. So let's have it interactive way. Maybe I can't see your face actually, because of lights, but then maybe you can give a gesture like this. At least I will know what's happening. Yeah, something like this. Thank you. Okay. Now when you talk about internet, it was built on trust. Now let's go back to 1960s when internet was new, right? You heard about ARPANET? Anyone? ARPANET, yeah? So if you go back to those times, when these scientific institutes, they wanted to share their data. The way they used to share data is with the help of floppy drives or maybe some written notes, but they wanted to share data instantly. So what they did, they created a network, and the network they named it as ARPANET. Now the amazing thing is, all the machines on the network, they were trusted. So they used to know each other. Okay, so let's say I'm A and we have Shadab who is B, so I know who are the participants on the network, right? But then things started changing, especially in the year 1993, when World Wide Web got famous. Now everyone wanted to be on the internet, right? Not just these scientific institutions, but all big companies. Now if you name a company, maybe it's a pharmaceuticals company or hospitals or banks, they wanted their own website, right? And a lot of people got rich because of this. They started making websites and they got their own websites, they got their own information online, and we can call it as the Web 1.0, where only big companies can have their websites, and as poor people, as poor users, we can only read them, right? But things started changing. We wanted something called Web 2.0, where as a user, as a normal user, even I can share data. Example, Facebook, right? Nowadays, we are not consuming data, we are generating data. I mean, look at these people, they just come here, they take selfies and they upload on Instagram. I'm talking about myself, right? So we upload photos on Instagram, we upload photos on Facebook, we upload videos on YouTube. We are generating so much amount of data every day. Am I audible there? Yeah? Okay. So we are generating huge amount of data, and because of which one thing is missing is privacy. I mean, think about this. Google knows more about you than you know about yourself. I mean, everything. Google knows your name, Google knows your liking, Google knows your relationship status, with whom, of course. Google knows where you are. Maybe when you were in college, you used to inform your parents, hey, I'm going to a college, I'm going to a job. But Google knows where you are. Which mall, which movie? Because Google tracks everything. The mobile phone which we use, the Android OS, unfortunately, 80% of the market is taken by Android. How many of you are using iPhones here? Okay, rich people. How many of you use Android phone here? Smart people, okay. Anyway, see, when you talk about Android, Google owns Android. Whatever you do on your phone, Google knows it, right? And they use your data. They use everything from you, your activities, your information, everything. Now you'll be thinking that what's a big issue with that, right? There is an issue. Since Google knows everything about you, they use your data for a wrong use. I mean, of course, they use your data for ads. How many of you love ads on the internet? Of course, no one, right? Do you love ads? Oh, okay. You don't love ads, okay. You hate ads, right, basically? See, one of the ways you can avoid ads is go premium. So whatever platform you use, like YouTube, start using YouTube Premium. The moment you say you are using a service for free, then you will get ads. And that's okay, right? You get ads. The issue is, they have all the information, they can change your mindset. In fact, okay, this phone is OnePlus, okay? I had no idea of buying this phone. It's just that I was talking to one of my friends about this phone, and suddenly every day I was getting a mail or the Facebook ad about this phone. Google also listens to you. I mean, they have your microphone here. Every time you say something, they're listening to you. And they also use this data to share ads. And ultimately, after 1 month, I bought this phone. Not because I wanted to buy it. You know, it was something like pressurized by Google, hey, buy this phone, otherwise we will not leave you. They also change your mindset for elections. As AJ mentioned about US elections, of course, no one wants Trump again. Do you really think people voted for him? People voted for Trump? The answer is yes, they voted for Trump because of Facebook activities. Facebook influenced everyone to vote for Trump. That's how they play with your mind. So one thing we don't want to share with everyone is your data, because your data is very, very important. Now, unfortunately, okay, so how do they know everything about you? It's because of your personal data which you share online, because of your online activities which you do, because of your places you visit. Example, Google knows where you are, or maybe after 1 hour you will get an ad about the restaurants nearby, right? Because they know everything about you. A small glitch. Okay. So basically, we are living in information age. Now, if you go back to industrial age or capital age, but this is information age. Now, if you say you are rich, the only people or the only company who is rich is who has data. And in that terms, the richest company now is, sorry? Amazon? Okay, yeah, in terms of money, they are rich. But in terms of information, Google is the richest company. Google, Facebook, they have the data. You know why? Because data is the new currency. The more data you have, the richer you are. So what do you think? Is it right that Google has all your data, or is it wrong? Show of hands. How many of you think it's okay that Google owns your data? Okay, you can verify if others are raising their hands, and then you can raise. How many of you think it's wrong? Okay, that's great. So what if I give you a way, I'm not giving it, but it's there already. What if there's a way that Google will not own your data, you will own the data? Will it be good? It is possible only with blockchain. And that's why we have the entire session here, right? So we can solve that one issue. But that's not the only issue we are talking about. There are multiple issues we have to address. So let's go back to 1993. We got Web 1.0. After some time, maybe in somewhere year 2000, we got Web 2.0. And now we don't want Web 2.0. We want Web 3.0. And that can be done with the help of blockchain. Right? Now think about this. Whatever is happening on the internet, now a lot of people believe that internet is an open platform. No one owns internet. How many of you believe no one owns internet? Okay, a few of them. How many of you think internet is owned by these 4 companies? Google, Facebook, Amazon, and what else? Maybe Netflix we can add? Yeah, of course, right? Whatever you do online nowadays is going through these servers. Example, let's say my website. So my website is telusko.com. You don't have to by heart it, it's okay. The moment you go to my website, if you share your data, you're not just sharing your data with me, it's because my website is hosted on Amazon, AWS. So basically you're sharing your data with my server plus Amazon servers. So whatever you do online now is going through Google, Amazon, and Facebook. So these three companies own the internet. We don't want that, right? We want internet to be open again. Is that with me? Yeah, we want the open internet, right? And that's why we have to think about the decentralized internet. And using blockchain, we can achieve that. In fact, blockchain itself is a distributed distributed ledger, basically. So you can share your data in a distributed format, not on one server. So what is blockchain basically? As name suggests, it is something with block and something with chain. Let's get more technical here. How many of you know about Bitcoin? Show of hands. So what is Bitcoin basically? So how will you define Bitcoin? How will you define Bitcoin?
How would I define?
Bitcoin, yeah.
Decentralized sovereign currency.
So in short, it is cryptocurrency, right? A cyber currency, cryptocurrency. Okay, great. Now when you talk about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is basically a cryptocurrency, which means everything is happening online. Of course, you will not be having some currency in your pocket the way you have these ringgits, but then you'll be having everything online. Now, problem with the currency which we have, the fiat currencies, I live in India, so we use rupees there. The moment I travel to Malaysia, I have to buy ringgits. The moment I go to US, I have to buy USDs. The moment I go to some different countries, I have to use that particular currency. What if we can use one currency all over the world? That will be awesome, right? Now, there will not be any difference between Africans, Americans, Indians, all are same because we all be using the same currency. That will be, okay, I'm not a big supporter of Bitcoin, but some currency. Maybe Navin currency, Navin coin, you never know, right? So, but we'll be using only one currency, that's the whole motto. And that is built on blockchain. So you can imagine blockchain will have a block, and every block will have transactions. Something like this. I don't know if you can see that green box there inside. Can you see some green box there? So one block will have some transactions. Now what it will have, let's say I am sending 5 Bitcoins to Shadab. Okay, 5 Bitcoins is very costly. 1.001 Bitcoin, I can afford that. Yeah, so let's say I'm sending 0.0001 Bitcoin to you. Now this transaction will be stored in a block. I mean, not just one transaction, there can be multiple transactions. There can be 5 transactions, there can be 10 transactions. In this case, we have 15 transactions. It can be 50, it can be 100. So let's say in this 1 hour, we got 15 transactions. That goes into this block. For the next half hour, you'll be having one more block. Okay, we'll talk about that. But then this transaction will have a sender address, receiver address, and the amount. Now what do you think would be sender address? Is it our phone numbers? Is it our home address? Now there will be a public key and private key. Every person will have a private key and a public key. Now you can use that as an address. The amazing thing is, everything on blockchain will be anonymous. The amazing thing is blockchain is transparent, which also means anyone can see the data. But then don't worry, they will not know your name. Okay, Mangesh will not know that Navin has sent some data, some Bitcoins to Shadab because the data is not there. The data will be in an anonymous format, the address, the public address. Okay, but what if you have more blocks? So that was one block, we can name it as B1. We got another block which is B2. Now the amazing thing is, if you can see, B1 has a hash. Now what is hash basically? Imagine I'm a block, my fingerprint is a hash. And the amazing thing is, in the entire world, everyone has a different fingerprint. Making sense? So if we talk about one block, it will be having one hash. The second block will have a second hash. And that's a mathematical calculation. So every time you change data, it will also change the hash values. Let's have one more block. Okay. That's one of the issues with the softwares which you use. So let's have one more block. Again, the same thing. Block 3 will have a hash of block 2. Block 4 will have a hash. What's going wrong here? Block 4 will have a hash of block 3 and then so on. Now you will say, what's fun in that? The fun part is, as AJ mentioned, that blockchain is incorruptible. I mean, you can't corrupt blockchain. The thing is, the moment you change something in a blockchain, let's say in blockchain 2, in a block 2, I have sent 2 bitcoins to, let's say, Mangesh. And then Mangesh thinks, hey, Navin has not sent me 2 bitcoins, Navin has sent only 1 bitcoin. Can you change the data, Mangesh? The answer is yes. Mangesh can go to the server and Mangesh can change 2 bitcoins to 1 bitcoin. The moment you change data, it will change the hash. If you can observe, the hash of B2 is changing from B2 to B21. It will affect B3, which will affect B4, which will affect the entire blockchain. And that's how you will come to know, hey, something is changed in a blockchain. There is a corrupt person there who is changing data. So you can update data on blockchain, but everyone will come to know that you have changed something. Now, blockchain is not new, right? Blockchain was there from last maybe 8 years or 10 years now. In 2008, Bitcoin was launched and then we got blockchain. It's been 11 years now. In these 11 years, we got this awesome thing called Bitcoin. We got the second one, which is Ethereum, because they wanted to write programming on the blockchain network. The only way you can code on blockchain is with the help of smart contracts. And that's what we got in Ethereum. But then when you talk about the corporate network, when you talk about the enterprise network, they wanted a private blockchain. Of course, we can't talk much about private blockchain, public blockchain now. We can have a discussion later. But then they wanted a private blockchain, and that's why we got Hyperledger. In fact, there are so many projects are coming up now. These 3 are top famous blockchain projects. But what issues we can solve here? Now, for me, there are 3 major issues. The first one, Alia, next. Okay, done. So the first one is a transaction cost. Now, every time you transfer money online, let's say if I get some USDs from US to India, there's a huge transaction cost, which is 4%. So if I earn $100, I will get only $96. And plus, there will be a government tax on that. We don't want this transaction cost, and that's why we want to go for Bitcoin. The next one is data privacy. You will own your data. Google will not own your data. So you can decide what Google can share with everyone. The third issue is trust. Because see, we don't trust each other, provided we have data. The moment you share data, that's what you can trust. Right? So if I share more data which is true, which you cannot change, of course, we will build trust. So the only way to get trust on the internet again is with the help of blockchain again, which is decentralized network. But then there are some common problems as well. The problem like poverty. You know, there are so many government schemes which are coming up. You know, so government says, hey, we have some trouble there in this area, let's give some funds. Do you really think those funds reaches from government to the actual people? There are so many middlemen here, right? So let's say government says this person will get maybe, let's say, $1,000. But then middleman says, okay, this person will get only 500. The second middleman says, okay, this person will get 200. Ultimately, the person will get $10. So we can solve poverty if everyone in this world will have a digital entity or the identity. And again, we can achieve that with the help of blockchain. The second problem we can solve is healthcare. You know, last month I met with the accident and I got 2 fractures, one in my hand and one in my leg. Now, when I went to the hospital, I was a bit unconscious. The hospital wanted to know from me what's wrong with me. I mean, what's my blood group? Do I have any allergy from different medicines? I was unconscious, right? Maybe they have given me some medicines. What if there's something wrong with the medicines? What if I have an allergy with some medicines? So hospitals should share data between they should share data with different hospitals, right? You agree with me? But the problem is, what if the data which is there in the hospital is corrupted. So we want hospital records to be on blockchain so that you can't corrupt it and anyone can share their hospital records. The third issue with the supply chain, again, we can discuss that in the unofficial talk, fluctuating, right? In fact, 2 years back, the price for Bitcoin was around $10,000, one Bitcoin. And now it is coming down to around 7,000 or 8,000. There was a point where Bitcoin, you can pay 10 Bitcoins for one pizza when Bitcoin started. But now you can buy the entire Pizza Hut with one Bitcoin, right? That's very powerful. The thing is, Bitcoin is versatile, that's right, because time being, Bitcoin is more of a gambling. So you have to buy Bitcoins and you have to wait for the price because we have a lot of people in the network. The moment you have more buyers, the price goes up. The moment you have less buyers, the price goes down. Same like a stock market, right? Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin, to be honest. I'm a big fan of blockchain, the technology behind it. But then when you talk about cryptocurrency's future, I'm not totally dependent on Bitcoin, but yes, I feel there will be a future currency which will replace Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency. Example, Ethereum, which was promising, but again, Ethereum is also fluctuating. But maybe in future, we'll be having some stable currency which you can use, which will not be fluctuating. You heard about ICOs? ICOs. ICO. ICO. Yeah, you can just Google it and you will come to know about it.
Okay.